Welcome to Tech Bytes and News, your daily roundup of articles featured in Hacker News. Today, we're diving into a fascinating blog post that draws parallels between blacksmithing and the Lisp programming language. It's quite an unusual comparison, but stick with us. It's going to be interesting.
Blacksmithing and Lisp? That does sound like an odd pairing. I'm curious to see where this goes. What's the main idea here?
Well, the author, Joe Marshall, starts by describing blacksmithing, emphasizing how versatile mild steel is. He points out that it's strong and hard at room temperature, but becomes easily workable when heated. And here's the key. You can shape it with a hammer, and if you mess up, you just reheat it and try again. It's very forgiving.
Okay, I'm getting a picture of the blacksmithing process. So where does Lisp come into play?
That's the fun part. Joe makes a comparison to Lisp's ability to customize the language itself to better fit the problem you're trying to solve. It's like blacksmithing, where you can adapt the metal to your needs. He even says he's the kind of nerd who sees a blacksmith trick and thinks, Lisp?
Ha! I can relate to that kind of thinking. So it's about the flexibility and the ability to mold the tools to fit the task, right?
Exactly. And he gives a great example. Making custom tongs. You heat up existing tongs until they're soft, then shape them around the workpiece. Voila! Custom tongs. Just like customizing Lisp to solve a specific problem.
That's a really clever analogy. It's like extending the language with macros or something similar to perfectly suit your needs.
Precisely. Now here's where it gets even more interesting. He brings up the concept of bootstrapping. Where do the first tongs come from? How do you make tongs if you don't already have them?
Ah, the classic chicken and egg problem. How does he solve that in the blacksmithing context?
He explains that you can make a simple pair of tongs from two sticks with a rivet. You shape half a pair of tongs by holding one end while working the other. It takes time before the end you're holding gets too hot.
So you're essentially using a rudimentary tool to create a more sophisticated one. That's pretty ingenious.
It is. And it ties into the idea of creating ad hoc tools in blacksmithing. You often create tools to help create other tools. He calls it metacircular blacksmithing.
Metacircular blacksmithing. I love it. So it's like writing a compiler in the language it compiles, or using Lisp macros to define new language features. It's tools, building tools.
You've got it. It's all about that iterative process of building upon what you already have to create something more complex and specialized.
This is making me want to try blacksmithing, or maybe just write some more Lisp code. But, is there a downside to all this hot metal work?
Well, he does mention that you will get burned, but he says they're usually mild burns. Your reflexes kick in pretty quickly when you touch hot metal, and you learn early on not to try to catch anything you drop.
Ouch, that sounds like a lesson learned the hard way. So, blacksmithing, like programming, has its risks, but the rewards can be pretty great.
Exactly. It's a hands-on, iterative process where you can shape your materials and tools to create something unique and useful. And in both blacksmithing and Lisp, there's a certain satisfaction in overcoming challenges and building something from scratch.
This has been a really insightful comparison. I never would have thought to connect blacksmithing and Lisp, but Joe Marshall makes a compelling case. It's all about flexibility, customizability, and that iterative process of building tools to build tools.
Absolutely. It's a testament to the power of both physical and intellectual craftsmanship. Thanks for joining us on Tech Bytes and News. We hope you enjoyed this exploration of blacksmithing and Lisp. Until next time, goodbye. Opening parentheses, closing parentheses.
Bye-bye.